Aerial video footage showed a rapidly spreading wildfire 21 kilometers outside the Spanish capital Madrid on Monday. According to Associated Press, the fire was believed to have started around 1945 local time, Monday, on the outskirts of the Tres Cantos commuter town, north of Madrid. A new complex of apartment blocks was in the trajectory of the flames. The fire was burning mainly scrub and grassland, but strong winds were quickly spreading the flames. A total of 12 fire engines and 3 helicopters were sent to the area, according to regional authorities. At 2300 hours local time, the emergency services advised that a man had been rescued with 98% burns to his body. He was flown by helicopter to a local hospital, and the circumstances of his injuries were not immediately clear.
Sí, aquí sí. Vamos, David. David, vamos para el palacio. Vamos para el palacio.
Y hermano, las casas ardiendo, loco. Qué puta locura, bro. Tío, qué locura. Qué locura, bro. Qué locura. Tío, qué locura, Samari. Tío, va a salir a arder todo, loco.
Sí, aquí sí. Vamos, David. David, vamos para el palacio. Vamos para el palacio.
Y hermano, las casas ardiendo, loco. Qué puta locura, bro. Tío, qué locura. Qué locura, bro. Qué locura. Tío, qué locura, Samari. Tío, va a salir a arder todo, loco.
Sí, aquí sí. Vamos, David. David, vamos para el palacio. Vamos para el palacio.
German Chancellor Friedrich Merz believes that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky should be invited to the meeting of US and Russian leaders Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August 15. Merz announced that he would speak by phone with Trump about his planned meeting with Putin in Alaska. "We are intensively preparing for this meeting at the European level together with the American government. And we hope and assume that the government of Ukraine, President Zelensky, will be involved in this meeting. In any case, we cannot agree that territorial issues between Russia and America are discussed or even decided over the heads of Europeans and Ukrainians," he added. "I assume the American government sees it the same way, which is why there is such close coordination," Merz said. "We hope for a breakthrough on August 15. First of all, for there to finally be a ceasefire. And for the possibility of peace talks in Ukraine," Merz said in an interview with the TV channel ARD. He recalled that the conflict in Ukraine has been going on for 3.5 years. It's time to put an end to it, the German chancellor emphasized. He expressed hope that a decision on a ceasefire could be reached at the meeting. And this is long overdue. This is a diplomatic initiative. We are constantly called upon not only to supply weapons, but also to put forward diplomatic initiatives, Mers said. Europeans do not want and should not be spectators when it comes to the most important strategic issue for the future of Europe. And that is why we hope for this. We are working on this, he continued. In any case, we cannot allow territorial issues to be discussed or even resolved between Russia and America bypassing the Europeans and Ukrainians. I believe that the American government shares this point of view, the German chancellor summed up, adding that, this is precisely why there is such close coordination. This will continue in the coming days. We will continue this in Berlin as well, he concluded. A Philippine official said Chinese Coast Guard ships chased and staged dangerous blocking maneuvers on Monday against the Philippine Coast Guard and fishing vessels in the Scarborough Shoal. According to Associated Press, the contested waters are a rich fishing atoll in the South China Sea off the northwestern Philippines. Commodore J. Tariella said a Philippine Coast Guard ship managed to avoid being hit by a Chinese Coast Guard water cannon during the melee. It's the latest flare-up of long-simmering territorial disputes in the busy waterway, a key global trade route, where overlapping claims between China and the Philippines have escalated in recent years. Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan also lay claims to parts of the contested waters. While chasing a Philippine Coast Guard vessel, a Chinese Coast Guard ship accidentally collided with a Chinese Navy ship, Tariella said. The Chinese Coast Guard ship sustained substantial damage, and the Philippine Coast Guard offered to provide help, including medical assistance, to the Chinese side, he said. There was no immediate comment from Chinese officials on Tariella's statements. Both China and the Philippines claim Scarborough Shoal and other outcroppings in the South China Sea. China seized the shoal, which lies west of the main Philippine island of Luzon, in 2012 and has since restricted access to Filipino fishermen there. A 2016 ruling by an international arbitration court found that most Chinese claims in the South China Sea were invalid, but Beijing refuses to abide by it.
While we were being chased by the Chinese Coast Guard 3104, ay nagkaroon ng insidente ang pagitan ng China Coast Guard at ng PLA Navy warship 164. Sila mismo ang nagbanggaan at dahil dito na damage yung unahang parte ng barko ng China Coast Guard. And on our part, we even extended our intention to support man overboard and even provide medical attention.
04, this is Philippine Coast Guard vessel BRP Teresa Magbanwa, MRRV 9701. We have medical personnel on board. Should you need any assistance, we are willing to provide assistance. Over.
Itong incident na to, I hope it would already convince the Chinese government, no, to adhere to the collision regulation. Ilang beses na nating sinasabi ito na if we're going to carry out dangerous maneuvers at sea, eventually it will lead to a maritime incident or sea mishap. And this is what happened here.